What's holding you back from pursuing your dreams or taking risks that will shape your future for good? Is it fear? But what if I told you that you can transform that fear into courage with just a simple shift in mindset? Picture fear as a nagging voice in the back of your mind that always hides and waits for a chance to interrupt your progress. It's like a sneaky saboteur hiding in the shadows, ready to trip you up whenever you're about to take a step forward. You see that voice that whispers, "What if I fail?" Or, "You're not ready for this." Most especially in moments when you're close to stepping out of your comfort zone, that inner voice is fear. The good news is that it loses its strength the moment you decide to confront it. And that's what today's video is about: how you can transform your fears into courage. So how do you reclaim your power when fear arises? Step 1. Acknowledge and understand what you are scared of. Have you once taken a moment to ask yourself what you're really afraid of? Is it a fear of failure, rejection, or perhaps losing control? Because most times, your fears might come from past events, like a failure that hurt you deeply or negative feedback that stuck with you. The reality is that if you don't trace where the fear is coming from, you can't understand it, not to talk of getting rid of it. For example, if you have a fear of public speaking, it's certain that every time you're asked to speak up in a meeting or share an idea, you quickly say no, right? Of course, you'll make excuses to avoid the situation. But when you take a step back to analyze the situation, you realize that this fear isn't just about speaking. It's connected to an experience where you must have felt embarrassed. Now, let's assume you understand where the fear is coming from. In the case of public speaking, let's say you remember being laughed at during a presentation in school, or perhaps you feel others will judge you harshly. Once you have a clearer understanding, you can take steps to manage the fear bit by bit. This might mean practicing speaking in front of friends or focusing on positive feedback rather than the negative. If you struggle with public speaking anxiety, please check out our past videos on public speaking anxiety. Step 2. Shift your perspective. If you're the type who views all threats as a challenge, chances are you'll always be scared of little things. This perspective creates a mental barrier that can lead anyone to avoid situations that feel risky, uncertain, or out of their comfort zone. However, when you start to see fear as a natural part of growth, it becomes less about avoiding potential pain. Now you see it as embracing possibilities. You reframe challenges as opportunities rather than threats. All these will allow you to step forward with a sense of purpose. Let's use our public speaking anxiety as an ideology. Instead of seeing a presentation as a chance to fail, you can change your perspective by viewing it as a valuable learning experience, one that you can use to strengthen your skills and help you grow. With that, you don't only reduce fear, but also invite growth. Oftentimes, society teaches us to see failure as something to avoid at all costs. But you see successful people, they know mistakes are essential for improvement. An entrepreneur might fail in a newly launched business, but if they don't examine what went wrong, they won't gain substantial knowledge on the solution. In short, see failure as a necessary part of their journey and embrace it as part of the process. Step 3. Set small, achievable goals. A large, daunting objective can naturally make you feel overwhelmed and even paralyzed by the thought of everything it requires. But breaking this large objective into smaller, manageable tasks can make it feel more approachable and realistic. Imagine someone who dreams of running a marathon but is intimidated by the idea of 26.2 miles. Instead of focusing on the full distance, why not focus on the goal of running 1 mile? This will prompt confidence and also pave the way for further progress. For instance, if you're working toward a career change, let's say researching the field, you can start taking a single online course or networking with someone in that industry. With that, you can make the overall process feel less devastating. Every time you complete one of these tasks, you gain momentum by proving to yourself that you're capable of moving forward. The sense of accomplishment from achieving each step will help push your fears aside, and it will create a positive cycle of building confidence through action. Step 4. Don't avoid what scares you, create a plan instead. anything can be planned. Even fear. Here's how. Instead of avoiding what scares you, you can create a plan named Fear Actionable Plan. This plan allows you to map out clear, achievable actions that can help you approach the things you fear with less anxiety. The most interesting thing about this is when fears feel less like massive obstacles and more like small individual steps, they lose some of their power. For example, a fearful public speaker wouldn't begin by giving a full presentation in front of a large audience. Instead, you might start with a smaller, less intimidating action, like speaking up in a small group of friends or practicing in front of a mirror. Once that feels comfortable, the next step could be speaking in a small work meeting or recording yourself to build comfort with hearing your voice. Each step forward, no matter how small, makes the fear seem a little less frustrating and shows you that you're capable of handling more than you might think. With each small success, confidence grows, making it easier to tackle the next step. Step 5. Cultivate resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after difficult experiences. It's simply the ability to adapt and to keep moving forward even when the road gets tough. This strength isn't something people are born with. It's developed over time, especially when you face failures, setbacks, and disappointments head-on. When you embrace these tough moments as opportunities to learn and grow, you build a mindset that helps you handle future challenges with more confidence and less fear. Each setback becomes less of a stopping point and more of a stepping stone, something you can use to become stronger. How does an athlete who misses out on a major competition due to an injury feels? They can feel like a massive setback, but instead, they should focus on recovery and improvement rather than giving up. The injury might feel discouraging, but it doesn't have to define their path. When they eventually return, they often come back stronger, mentally and physically, because they embrace the setback as a chance to learn and improve. Similarly, when you encounter setbacks, try to see them as temporary obstacles rather than permanent failures. The question becomes less about, why did this happen to me? And more about, what can I learn from this? By reminding yourself that setbacks are not the end, you empower yourself and build the courage to keep moving forward. Step 6. Always seek support and guidance. Don't keep feelings to yourself. Once you feel afraid or uncertain, it can be tempting to keep those feelings to yourself, thinking you must face them alone. However, leaning on others can make a big difference. You can always trust your friends, family members, or mentors to provide comfort, encouragement, and fresh perspectives that might not be obvious when you're overwhelmed. With that, they can remind you that you're not alone and help you see your situation from a different angle, which can make your fears feel less discouraging. Sometimes, even just voicing your fears can bring relief. When you put your worries into words, they often feel less heavy, and others can help you find solutions you might not have considered. If you're nervous about a big presentation at work, talking it over with a friend who is a good speaker might give you helpful tips or even a chance to practice together. The support and feedback you get can ease your mind, boosting your confidence to face the challenge. Seeking guidance is not a sign of weakness, but a step toward growth, as it shows you're open to learning from others and willing to overcome your fears with support. Contrary to popular belief, courage isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing to act despite feeling afraid. The connection between courage and fear is deeper than you must have thought. While fear often makes us feel uncertain or hesitant, courage steps in to counteract that hesitation, empowering us to push beyond our limits. What's your greatest fear in life? You can share them in the comments section. We will be glad to hear and share possible solutions with you. We've come to the end of another exciting, mind-opening episode. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy the content. It goes a long way in encouraging us and showing your support. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.